Ano Ivelina Mekealoha, and welcome to Kumu Fast Views. This is Kamaʻilio Wale, episode 1, and I'm very, very excited to have two of my greatest friends, my hoaloha, my ohana, that I love very, very much with me on this unedited, unscripted, unrehearsed show that we're going to take a look at his latest release, Kuini. So please welcome Kalani Peʻa and Allan Peʻa, Ku Peʻa, to our
Aloha.
aloha. Welcome.
Aloha.
Aloha.
I miss you guys so much. The last time I seen you guys, we were in Japan. You was busy on tour
And eating all the yakiniku in
and
Shaolin.
eating all the yakiniku. Yeah, so
It's
you've
so
been
awesome
very.
to be with you, Kumuhula Leatu Sabina. We love you. And your
Thank you.
Tulipa. We love you.
I'm wearing my purple shirt tonight just for you. So you've been very busy. You've been a very busy person since I last saw you, and you just recently dropped Kuini, which is a fabulous full-length 11-track album that
Yes.
is from top to bottom amazing.
Mahalo e ke hoa. It was
So
5 to 6 months of composition, writing, co-composing, co-arranging, producing. You know how it is. You're a recording artist and Kumuhula, and there's a process. There is time. I don't think people see the BTS behind the scenes until they ask us, right? The
yeah.
amount of work put into a project.
So that's what we're gonna do today. I want to hear your thought process, your work ethic, and everything that you put into each of the mele, because I believe almost everyone except three, right? Three that's covers.
4.
Four that's covers. So that's about 8 or 7. I cannot do math, yeah. 7 original compositions that you had to put blood, sweat, and tears in. So yeah, we just want to take a look at and listen to your
Okay.
behind the scenes takes of it all.
Okay.
So yeah, let's go. Let's start with, where are you guys? Ululani Nui, which is a kahiko.
Yes.
I hoʻohene hua. Hoʻohene hua hua lani hoi. Nana ua i ka pualei. Hoʻohene hua hua lani hoi. Nana ua i ka pualei.
Okay. So from what I understand, Allan is the ho'opa'a on that, correct?
Yes. In fact, he's the ho'opa'a, of course, and very honored to have my husband as ho'opa'a, which he is already a ho'opa'a under his kumu kamaka kukana halau kanu lehua. But he's also palala. He's harmonizing. He's the lower. He's third. I know. His voice is on
Yes,
that.
Allan, yes.
And it wasn't difficult. Like, he got it, and I think naturally, because he comes from a musical family
Mhm.
himself, he's so humble about these things that um, to have his Leo as well as Nalei Pokipala sing the third above me, I wanted to really feature and capture the essence of Oli Aloha for High Chiefess Ululani Nui.
Nice, nice. Oh, I didn't know Allan's voice was on there. I'm so happy. How did you feel recording that?
Well, I will tell you, if you're the lead on a ho'opa'a, you don't have a problem. You just give it how you do it right. But when you have to follow the lead, yeah, it's challenging.
I know
So
what you mean.
I wanted to add EE on that
Mm-mm.
because that's just what I'm trained to do. But he said, no EE, just follow exact how I do it. So I
So,
did it.
And very much in this context of Mary Kavena Pukui and her Ola Noea Ale Pauka Iki Makahalo Ho'okahi, the knowledge is not going to be stopped, right? In one house, that we're
yes.
going to continue to gather ike from various houses or homes or different foundations and learn and embrace from different foundational learning or teachings of others. So Allan wanted EE, but the reason why I didn't have much of EE is because my kupuna, well, those I've learned how to oli from Kawanoi Kamana and coming from Kaiapuni, we just project our leo and the EE comes along. So everyone has different, when we hear different kumuhula, whether it's Calvin Lopes or yourself or Kau'i Kamana or Kamaku Kukona, it's so beautiful to hear people's leo and where their styles come from and their intonation and diction and phrasing when it comes to EE or sharing a chant about someone, a place, a vahipana.
It's easier when you're the lead.
No, but you're very correct because sometimes, like for me, I was taught that the EE comes naturally because a
Yes.
lot of times, a lot of halal, and it's not right or wrong, it's again style and choice. They force the EE to come out instead of let it come naturally, but totally understandable. And I know, Alan, when we the lead, they better follow us. But if we gotta follow somebody else, I know exactly how you feel. That's why I'm always the lead.
And we got a
All right.
talking point in our situation.
So
But I
when you
think
wrote when you wrote this in your mind, what was your vision?
well, the vision was to open up, well, the whole vision of the album Queenie, which defines to queen. People are asking, why is it called Queen? And why do you have your crown gifted to you by Maui Divers Jewelry? People have been asking, fans, family, and Ohana, they're asking, why is this titled Queenie? And I really wanted to have a compilation of mele that best describe the women who have shaped my identity, our identity, Allan's identity, and honor the matrilineal matriarchal powers of women giving birth to men and creating Hawaiian men. And so these mele each talks about a queenie in a different sense. This particular Oli talks about Ululani Nui, who is one of the greatest descendants of Lili'ua Kalani. I think she is the great great grand aunt, but she was a well known, prolific Hawaiian music composer, songwriter, and I got to review some of her chants. She comes from Malu, a Ki'iwai.
Oh,
She reside she resided in Hilo, my hometown, for many years, where she would compose mele. And I wanted to honor her because I wrote this specifically for Hula Halao Kamuela and for their Kiki Hula competition, which they placed second place at Kiki Hula 2 years ago. So I wanted to open up with this. I normally open up an album with a fast-paced, bombastic sound. I wanted because when I think of Leato Savini and the bombastic feel of how you dance hula serving me and Lala Hino with your slippers out in Florida, I thought, why not start a new album with a new take on honoring our kupuna wahine, our ali'i wahine. So I wanted to honor our ali'i Ululani Nui and Lili'ua Kalani and her ohana and the Kalakaua dynasty.
nice, very very nice. And I do see that Kuini theme entwined in the whole album, and that was just fabulous.
Mahalo.
So we're gonna take a look at listen to this was actually a single that came
Yeah.
out before the album and written for your dear friend Leialoha, right? Um
Yeah.
very beautiful soul, but this is a melody that I really, really enjoy teaching, and we'll take a listen to it right now. All right, and that is Kuini. You can give a little background on that one. I know a little bit about that. It was for Leialoha, your dear Hoa from high school, and she's now living in the States.
Yes, I wrote this. Of course, we opened up with He Ku'u Leialoha. Leialoha's name is in it, and the reason why I wrote that for that particular Queenie, her verse is the second verse because her halau acknowledges loke and that poor loke. When you go to Oregon, she has a hedge of beautiful lokelani in Oregon, and it just grows. There's a plethora of loke. Especially when we visited your Kumu, Kuahivi in San Diego, he has a plethora of akulikuli. It's so beautiful to see our plants grow beautifully all over the world. And I wanted to honor her. So Leialoha Ka'ula is my childhood friend. We both graduated from Kekulo Navahi, and she gifted me these lei pupu ni'ihau. And you know, brother, it's expensive. I can't afford that. I mean, I'll buy Louis Vuitton, but I should save money to buy pupu ni'ihau. Yeah. So I wanted to honor in the first verse those who create kahelelani and those who are natives of Ni'ihau, and the art of making pupu Ni'ihau should be acknowledged through the hands of the people of Ni'ihau. So I wanted to honor our very, very beautiful community of Pu'uwai Ni'ihau and Kalealoha Beniamina, who also gifted me this lei through Leialoha. So I wanted to honor those two Queenie in my life and all the other women who want to wear that crown and be that Queenie. Yeah.
Nice. A very, very lovely mele. My haumana enjoy performing it and dancing it. And we use it for basics, so.
Mahalo. You have a
All
million
right.
students in Japan, so thank you so much.
And they're really enjoying this new album as well. I've been getting a lot of oh Kumu, Kalani's new. Can we do this? Can we do that? All right.
Thank you, Kumu Leato. It's such an honor, and I just can't wait to share this conversations and dialogue on our pages as we continue on talking about mele and hula and hakumele. But thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you for being here. So we're gonna move on to the next one. Ua Paʻūpili. This is an original composition.
Yes.
All right, let's take a listen.
Hone hone aka Paʻūpili ne Ali hone hone aka Paʻūpili ne
Oh, nani loa. So give us a little bit about this mele, like your background, why you wrote it.
So I created the music with Wailao Writer. The actual composer is well-known Kumu and one of my mentors and founders of Ahapunaleo, Kumu Kiopi Raymond. He resides here on Maui, and he's one of the co-founders of Ahapunaleo. He
with your kumus,
with my Kumu, Kawanoi Kamana, Larry Kimura, and
that's his last ceremony.
He was honored, yeah.
Well, Punanaleo was honored,
yeah.
I think for 40 years.
40 years of perpetuating Olelo Hawaii in the Hawaiian school system, in DOE and charter schools. And being a proud Hawaiian immersion graduate, he wanted to gift me this mele. He had no arrangement, so I created the music, and Wailau created the bridge, which is the choral line. But this mele, Ua Paʻūpili, of course, we have hundreds of rain names and wind names and wave names and hundreds of these names to exemplify the beautiful landscapes of our ahupua and moku and our districts and our aina. And that's the beauty of Hawaiian culture. So he dreamt of his mama before her passing. Actually, it was his grandniece. And she told him that grandma and or his mama visited her, and she was in the Paʻūpili rain, which is in Lahaina. And the Paʻūpili rain is this brief showers. It's kind of like the Manoa Misiri, but there's brief showers, comes and go. It's not as drenched as the Hilo rain or the Ua Loku of Hana. But Paʻūpili is a well-known ua in parts of Oahu, but Maui as well, in Lahaina especially. So this song talks about his beloved mother who he missed so dearly, and that through his dreams, she'll visit him in the Paʻūpili rain. And you hear the word hone hone, sweet sound of her voice. She loved the Avapuhi mele mele. She comes from Lahaina. And I wanted to honor those who have lost their beloved mothers, their beloved Kuini, with this particular mele, Ua Paʻūpili.
Oh, that's very nani. And you know, when I heard you say the name Kiope Raymond, I was just researching a song he wrote. I believe Ahumana recorded it. No Kuipone Aloha.
Oh,
Because the name sounded familiar, and I was like, where is that? I was researching a song, and I was like, I wonder who this person is. And now I learned from you that he's the actual composer of this mele on your
yeah,
album. That is amazing. I'm learning so much.
thank you.
So
Mahalo.
when
And
you
I
when
love
you were doing the arrangement, so I'm very new to listening to piano in a lot of Hawaiian music, because you know me, I'm chalangalang. I like all that ukulele, guitar, bass, right? When you decided to use is a piano in there, right?
Yes, it's only piano and only my voice without harmonies. I wanted it raw and to
Oh,
where I would have thought of I would have thought having just guitar there. I wanted that sense of calmness and that trickle effect through the piano arrangement, as if the Ua Paʻūpili brushed me on my alo, and that rain cloud went through the kauaʻula winds of Lahaina. So that piano, I wanted that smooth rendition. So when I compose, brother, when I compose mele, write them out on my notepad, and then I sing them in my head. We all have different ways of arranging and composing mele. People use their piano or ukulele like yourself, or people go on their lanai and grab their guitar or steel guitar. For me, everything's in my head: arrangements, chord progressions, what is mezzo forte, what is pianissimo, where am I going to modulate. Then I sing this to my musicians here, like right here at this table. They play it, we record it, then we take it to the studio. That is how we operate. So in this case, I said, I don't want guitar, I don't want anything else. I want piano to give that contemporary feel, that Kalani Peʻa feel. um, and and that's the reason why I chose specifically piano for the kauna behind the type of rain that is being illustrated in this mele.
I love it. I love it. You know, not everybody gets to hear this kind of insights and understanding, but that is very, very Maikai. I love it.
And I
All
love you as much as I love it. I love you.
I love you guys. So the next one is I've got a lot of messages from my friends who teach hula and who perform Arizona, like, is he coming to Arizona again? And is he going to do this next mele? It is a classic mele, right?
Yeah.
And the arrangement to this and the coordination to get these partnerships, right? These the Jake Shimabukuro and the choral must have been a lot of work. But let's take a listen to it first, and then we can talk story about it. Naʻi Aupuni.
Nui Kuʻu and the Honoa o Ilani o Aʻo Lele Hawaii o Mano Kalani o Mano Kalani Nui Kuʻu and the Honoa
Okay, he mea maike. He nani loa na leo makeia.
Oh,
Ooh,
mahalo koa. Nani
so
ke
talk
mele
about that.
ia
Talk about the collaboration, how you got Jake and how you got that choral unit to be a part of it.
Oh, this was a big collaboration. I thought, if I created the Kalani Peʻa style with Kulaivi and Enakini, I had to acknowledge Naʻi Aupuni, written by Uncle Dennis Kabakai, which is one of the covers. And I wanted to
Not
honor.
Dennis.
Oh my gosh, I'm
Dennis
wrong.
is Kokeʻe.
Sorry, Samuel Kabakai. Oh my gosh.
It's
Kokeʻe
okay.
Kabakai, I should know this. But anyway, it was arranged by me, and
Well, people will say traditional.
it's
but
traditional. Yeah, Dennis was Kokeʻe, which is the last track. Oops.
We'll get to that.
Calamari. And so I thought, Jake, thank you for correcting me, darling. Jake Shimabukuro, of course, is an amazing, electrifying ukulele legend from pure heart and a dear friend. And I wanted him to be in the studio on Oahu and record his part. I was with him, and we went over many tracks because he wanted it perfect. And Jake is just an amazing, amazing friend and musician. Um, and I wanted I love collaborations. I love working with people with talent. So Allan and I was able to work with the kumu of the Hawaiian ensemble at Kamehameha School's Maui, and that was a process because we had to get these students involved, like practice, chart their music. Kavika Boro and the staff had to chart the music, practice with these kids. In between, these kids have, right? They have sports, they have other kuleana halal, Mary Monarch prep. So I'm trying to get this done in May before I have my shows in DC.
Before the kids
graduate. And so we did it for 2.5 hours on campus in their classroom with no AC because apparently the campus closed down. And so they turned off the AC, so we're sweating in a sauna. But all of that was all logistical planning, right? And fun stuff. But the beauty about this is, why did I choose Kamehameha School's Maui Hawaiian Ensemble? This mele is Naʻi Aupuni, the conqueror, the Kamehameha the first. I wanted to honor the king of Hawaii, who united 8 Hawaiian islands under one rule in 1810, who established the Hawaiian national flag in 1816 before his passing in Kamakohonu in 1819. So I wanted to honor Kamehameha Ekahi. Is he a Kuini in my eyes? Yeah, he wear his crown as much as anyone else wants to wear the crown. But I also wanted to acknowledge a traditional we all grew up to. And the collaboration effort came out splendid. We recorded them on a microphone with how many students? Like 30? 40. And
I would say about 30
Yeah.
too.
and bless Mike Casil. Mike Casil is based here. He's my drummer. He's my co-producer and engineer. And he did the best he did on this album with Ron Ruff, who's a Grammy-nominated engineer and producer. They recorded this entire album. So I really mahalo iVibe Productions, but they worked really hard setting up at the school, and Mike Casil did his best mixing and mixing, especially this track.
The kids took
yeah.
a long time.
A long time. Yeah.
Like you would think you would go in and you would do this in 10 minutes and in 2 takes and you're done. Oh no, it took hours. And I think it's because there was a lot of chiefs in the room. Because at Kamehameha School's Maui, because right, you have me and Kalani in the room, but we're really just support, right? And then Mike is our engineer on the computer. And he's the one making sure he can hear all of them. And then you have the kumus at Kamehameha schools. But there's not one, there's like 5 of them.
Oh, totally understand. But I must say, it sounds so clean. He must have put in so much detail into making that sound. Because I absolutely love hearing the keiki in the background. And it doesn't sound like they're at school. It sounds like they're in an actual studio.
Yeah. Yes, everything was taped in a non-AC classroom. With
Non-AC. Even harder work.
Oh my gosh. The hardest thing was, I think they were happy because we had dinner.
Well, I think what it is, if one of the students went a little off at the beginning or the end, like as a group, right? So if one was just a little bit off, it was like, no, do it again.
Well, these teachers are perfectionists, right? They're choral,
but all good things.
They got their masters in music education,
yeah.
So they want the best because we understand Kamehameha schools standards, right? Mr. Tuitele, Kavikaboro, Ale A'arona Kumuhula, who comes from a legacy of Kumuhula. So they wanted the best. If someone was a little flat, they said, "Okay, you're out," or let's redo this. And it was beautiful to see that collaboration. Was it a lot of work? Of course, we were there 2.5 hours, and I think the choral part was beautiful because they were able to sing from the na'au to honor Kamehameha Ekahi and their alma mater, Kamehameha schools. So evidently you hear the word imua, which means go forward. Go always forward, strive for the best, and kulia ika nu'u. So mahalo nui Kamehameha schools, Maui. Mahalo nui.
I do, before I move on, I do want to say I like, and my students said, Kumu, can we use this version? Because I just go right the fast one. They like this more mellowed out, slowed down version. So I said, okay, yeah.
I thought it was a little fast. Is this one a little slow? No.
It's slower than how I play and how some of the recordings that we use. I forget. Well, of course, because Uncle Chinky, right? He's another Chalanga Langa. He like go, yeah. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I gave them the okay to they can use this version.
And you can always say no, Golis. No, I'm sticking to the Leato Savini. Come on, we're from Wa'anai, Nana Kuli. Dare change my bombastic style.
Okay, moving on. Waimea Kamahaʻo. Let's take a listen.
What did Moon do?
Okay, Waimea Kamahaʻo. Let's give us some mana'o on that one, Palala.
This mele, I call it the ka'o mele. They're vamps. So when you don't know what to do, just either pause Or do planikaos.
Or grab a slipper and start.
No, I gotta be honest because when the CD was released here in Virginia, it's midnight, so I was already laying in bed initially, and I was like, oh yeah, let's do an Ami here, let's do a Kao here. We're on the same wavelength, Allan.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're probably going, oh my gosh, this arrangement. Someone told me this arrangement sounds like there's this contemporary hapa feel. Like, wow, it's not very hulaable. It's attainable to
But
be
a lot of people
hula.
would like it.
But a lot of people made comments to me saying they like this arrangement. So this Waimea Kamahaʻo talks about being in Waimea and talks about Heva Nui, a chief, high chiefess, and his relationship with Kamehameha and their companionship. But it also talks about the water resources of Waimea and how there's wetlands there. And how it was protected by our dynasty. Kamehameha and Heva Nui. But this song was composed, it's an original song composed by Moon Kawakahi and my best friend Keone Fukino. Keone created the words with Moon Kawakahi, and I wanted to acknowledge my best friend Keone, who comes from Uncle Chinky and Halau Kawaili Ula, and I loved the lyrical movement. I loved how they wrote about the journey of Heva Nui, Chief Heva Nui, and Kamehameha Kai, finding this place in Waimea and understanding that Waimea is such a special place. Kamahaʻo means special, and how this place is known for its own watershed and water resources. And so this song was specifically also honoring his kumu, Uncle Chiki Mahoi. There's this connection of this place and Uncle Chinky and the relationship of Uncle Chinky and his haumana with Keone. So there's a deeper mo'olelo to this. And creating this arrangement as the arranger, I wanted something fun. He wanted something uplifting and happy to honor such vahipana and to honor Kamehameha Ekahi and Chief Heva Nui. And it is interesting because it's not a 4/4, it's not a typical hula mele, but I wanted something just different out of the ordinary on this album, and this was one of my most different mele. Yeah.
And
Nice.
Keone's so like blown away that Kalani actually decided to record it. Because Kalani writes a lot of mele, but we never know what he's going to end up recording. Even for the chants and the olis, he writes so much, but we don't know which one he wants to record, So when he picks, he picks.
Nice. That was I'm gonna try and do a hula to it because I want to be that outside of the box too. You know me.
Yes, Kumuleato. That's why I live for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So the next one I know is a cover, and I kind of sort of thought in my mind that you were gonna put it on your next CD because you done it in your shows this last show circuit. And you also asked how Oli in Arizona to dance it. And she's like, he asked me to dance Ho'onanea. I go, well, you better Ho'onanea that on that stage. And then I knew you did it in Japan. So I was like, oh, he's going to put this on the CD. And sure enough, you did. And here's your rendition. I absolutely love your Leo Palala. You're so versatile in how it comes out, and I'm gonna be honest. I never taught this. I've done it, but I never taught it. So I will teach it to my kuna to this rendition.
This means a lot coming for you. I
So
love
talk
you.
about your choice of choosing to put this in your show circuit first and then putting it on your album.
I had to honor one of our queenies of songwriting, Angelina Machado, as she had written this song in the 1930s. We've done it in 1960s and the 70s. But in the 1935 version, she has the word o hoʻonanea, as hoʻonanea in Hawaiian is a hamani, like to do something to another person. That is the meaning of it. Hoʻonanea. O hoʻonanea, she used that as a subject. And the question came along in that recording in 1935. Is this a person she's talking about? Because okina o, emphasizes a subject. You're going to talk about a subject or an object. Then in the latest recordings, she came up with e hoʻonanea as to be embraced with love and to enjoy, and nanea, to enjoy, right? With incitement, with excitement, with being intrigued by someone. It's a love song. And so I did this mele because I kind of like wanted to feature my falsetto side because I'm really not a Hawaiian falsetto singer, but I wanted to honor Auntie Lena, and she's one of my favorite songwriters. So is Uncle Johnny Almeida. I love those composers of our old times and how the arrangement came about. So people ask me, why aren't there harmonies? Well, they haven't asked me, but if they have asked me, why didn't you put harmonies in the longer runs when you crescendo out with this solo guitarist? I said wanted something sultry, smooth, and sexy for the mele that talks about love and being in love and falling in love with someone, with something. I don't know because Angelina didn't specify who she wrote it for, but right, we don't know if it's for two people, three, one thing, a limu kohu. I don't know what she was talking about. So an opihi, puhi, I don't know, but we all fall in love with something, right? And so to respect her songwriting skills, I wanted to just acknowledge my one voice. And a dear friend who's well known in the music industry wrote back saying to me, I just love how simple this arrangement is because people normally chuck through it like Makapoli ihono ahonanea, right? They chuck through it with a hula kui, but I wanted you to feel like you're under the moon phase with me. I wanted you to feel like we are in love until you hit the haina climax, baby. And when
Mhm.
that haina climax, hunty,
You get it. You get it.
Yes, yes, it's okay. It's okay. You just share what you wanna share. No wonder Allan's sitting in on this.
you you gotta have your ice cream from 7-Eleven Japan after you have your ramen bowl, right?
No, but yeah, it's really that's what I really thought about when I listened to it that first evening and I went back to it the next morning. Is very simple, and I love simple, and your falsetto, which we normally don't hear much of, right, is very soothing, and it's not a forced thing. Your crescendo in that falsetto is really nani loa. I really love the arrangement.
Mahalo e ke kumu
Mahalo.
And for
nui.
those of you that's watching, pay attention. He talked about Olelo Hawaii and our sentence structures, whether it's an Okina O or an A, it makes a difference.
Oh wait, Plala, this is a live people can watch us.
Not right now. I'm going to post it after. I can do it live stream, but I was like, oh, this is the first time. Let's just record it and see how it goes.
Yeah, we will most definitely share your content, Kumu. You just let us know when you're ready, Plala.
So this next Millie, actually, I just learned. I met Kumu Joy Salvador in the DMV. She was here for her Hula Brothers Hoike that I emceed.
Oh my
When
god.
I saw her story, I was like, Oh my goodness, such a small world. I know you guys knew each other because you guys are on Maui.
Yeah,
But
right.
to know that this mele was pili to her ohana, I was shocked. And I was like, oh, this is a hula pahu too. I was like, oh. So let's take a listen to it.
Okay.
I, Wahine O Ka Lua, Kupenu hoi ka vai a kane, he vai ka he mali e o pai loko. I loko na lua huna o na vai, tu ho ho malokai wai he.
Okay. And again, that features Allan on the pahu, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So tell
Yeah.
us, how did this connect to Kumu Joy? Was there a mo'olelo to that?
There's definitely a mo'olelo. Wahine O Ka Lua was actually composed a month before the wildfires occurred. And it's interesting because I reached out to her, she reached out to me and talked, we wanted to collaborate for her Kumai Kahula competition. And she wanted to honor her ohana, and more so her grandmother who taught her hula. Kumuhula Keopolani Blanche Keala Kahinano Opuna Wilson. So I said, Keopolani, she's the mother of Kamehameha Elua and Ekolu. Your grandmother's name Keopolani. How about we honor our Wahine ke kapo Keopolani who is resting in Lahaina. And now this is before the wildfires. Now this is before when we lost Waiоla Church. So our ali'i is there near Moku'ula. And so I composed this. I dreamt of Kiha Wahine. And Kiha Pi'ilani is my ohana from my paternal grandmother's side. And Kiha Wahine, we know, is the mo'o goddess, the protector of Moku'ula and Mokuhinia Island. As we know that Lahaina, before water diversions and channelizations and the stealing of our waters by big corporations and conglomerates, we know that Lahaina was a place where plethora of water was grown, with a plethora, with many innumerable ulu trees as canopies, and the watershed was known for water. So I wanted to honor her kupuna. In the kauna part, the last verse, there's Keopolani. That's to honor Chiefess Keopolani and to honor her grandmother. And so it was gifted to her for them to dance to at the Kumai Hula competition here on Maui, and they came second place in Hula Kahiko. And when I told her I was going to put this on the album to honor her Kuini, to honor Joy Salvador, which she's a Queenie in her own self. She's a fierce firecracker, and I love her. And Allan and I, we live for her. She doesn't do much hula competition. She's that halal that wants to focus on traditions and hula. She doesn't do much hula competition. So when she said, Kalani, can we collaborate and and I'm entering for the first time in Kumai Kahula, I said, yes, you're Maui. Let's do it. Let's make this work. I love collaborations. And when I get this gut feeling, I tell people, when I get this gut feeling, it's butterflies, and it's beyond butterflies. It's the whispers of our kupuna guiding us. So I told her, look, we have a mele pahu, and she did so well and beautifully. And I had to acknowledge our ali'i, Keopolani, Ki Hawahine, the guardian of Moku'ula in Lahaina, as well as her grandmother, Kumuhula Keopolani Wilson. Yeah.
I love it. I love that mo'olelo. And I fell in love with Joy and her haumana and her hula. And of course, her fierce attitude. I love. And
Yes, sir.
yeah. So that leads into actually that mele right there. And when I was listening to it, I go, oh, it leads right into Malu Ulu Aʻo Lele. And so let's take a listen to that. Again, another Lahaina mele, Kihawahine, is mentioned in this as well. So Malu Ulu Aʻo Lele.
Malu o ka ulu kane, Aʻo Lele, ulu endo, ulu nape, ika ili, iha pasine, hei kapu, Malu o ka ulu kane,
Malu Ulua Aʻo Lele. And so this is an original, correct?
Yes, I composed this song with the help of music arrangement with Wailao, who created the chorus part. I love working with Wailao writer. He's played 97% on the whole album. He's my guitarist, as well as the guitarist, bass player, ukulele player on this entire album. The other 3% are other featured artists, but he worked really hard on the last Grammy, the third Grammy winning album called Peʻa. I wanted to work with my brother, and he's a dear friend, and he's been with me for 7 years playing music and writing music with me. So when I wrote this song and I told him the way I want to sing it, this was a song I dedicate to the people of Lahaina, since we're near the 1 year anniversary. And we know that Malu Ulua Olele or Malu Ulu Olele is an old name of Lele, which means Lahaina, and Lahaina that was known for the ulu, the breadfruit that we partake and consume, and the trees were immaculate there. And I wanted to honor the people of Lahaina. This was a song for healing. And I wrote this song months ago because I didn't compose this song. I didn't want to be one of those musicians capitalizing on composing a song after a tragedy. I wanted to take time to heal with everyone. And part of my healing was composing this song. And if it was 6-7 months later, I honor the sacred rock of Hauola in this mele, where our ali'i would give birth on this particular pohaku. This was in front of Kamehameha Ekahi's lo'i, which the library once was built over the lo'i, the popular lo'i of Kamehameha Ekahi. I wanted to honor Ili and Ahupua'a of Kuʻia and Kahoma, where the Kauaʻula wind goes through the valley from Wailuku to us, to the west side, to Lahaina. I wanted to honor the people who live there. As you know, in the chorus, there's this word pili aloha, and we know that means love and eternal love and close love. But it's kauna. I'm honoring my other guitarist who lives in Lahaina. He didn't lose his home. There was some damages. He is safe. But I wanted to honor Josh Pili Aloha Kahula, who's one of my guitarists from Lahaina. So there's kauna and hidden messages are not so prevalent in mele until we have these conversations, right? Till we develop this conversation, talk about, why did I choose these words? Why did I choose this arrangement? Why is this phrasing different from this phrasing? Why am I having this mele kanipili and this word rhymes with this word? It just comes naturally. And when I told him I'm honoring him and his family, because his wife, Josh Kahula's wife, was pivotal in the community, ensuring that the families were safe. The wife has a role working for the county. So I wanted to honor his family in Lahaina and all the families and those who have lost their loved ones, that we will remember the beauty of Malu Ulua Olele as it was, with whether it was 200 years ago with Ki Hawahine protecting Moku'ula or Mokuhinia, whether this song sounds like it's very out of somber. It is. There's that little disheartening and sadness in the arrangement, but there's happiness, that there's light at the end of the tunnel. So that's why the last verse, when I say "He malu ulua ole," and there's that interesting minor note, because that kauna, the hidden message behind that is, what happens to Lele? Are our families returning to Lahaina safely? Will they rebuild Lahaina as it was before? Or will there be a new vision for Lahaina? So that's the reason why I wanted that arrangement at the end, where there's a questionable mark. What will happen to our beautiful west side that was once our capital of Hawaii, once our ali'i that came through the Kipani Vai, the Battle of Kipani Vai here in Wailuku, went through Iao and dwelled in Lahaina. What happens next? That is the kauna to how I ended the mele. Interesting note. So this song is for the people of Lahaina and those who lost their loved ones.
I love it. That's the power of mele, the power of mo'olelo, and the power of kauna. Very beautiful.
Maha,
Nice.
maha.
The next one on the list is Mauna Kilohana, and I'm gonna be honest, this was one of my favorites when I listened to it the first time around.
Yay! Is it because of Devin Camelo Forrest? Because he's a great composer.
Wait, is he the Hakumele? Wait, let's listen first.
Let's listen.
Akalani Mauna Kilohana, here came Kuini Akapaui, Ikinoli, Ialahi Lahi, yes,
Okay, wait. Before I played it, did you say Kamealoha was the Hakumele?
He was the Hakumele for
Oh,
this.
I'm gonna be honest. I never looked through any of your credits, so that's a shock for me.
So, Allan, as a co-producer on this album, really
Huh?
helped me with final decision making on who's going to be collaborating with us. I normally sing the music to him to get final approvals. Secretly he is boss lady. So I got to work with Allan on on definitely the sound and be my my ear.
Second ear, I
Um,
guess. Yeah.
and so when I worked with Devin, I asked Devin, "Is there's a queen who I adore, Queen Emalani, and how she established the Queen's Hospital and focused on her people, our Lahui. I wanted to honor Emalani. Do you have a mele?" He did. He had a mele titled Mauna Kilohana, which highlights the beauty of her and describes the beauty of Emalani being an imperative figure for our Lahui, whether she focused on our health and wellness. I've always I have my favorite princess. My favorite princess. I love all of our princesses, Plala, but I love Princess Ruth Ke'elikolani, and that's a whole different album, right? But Queen Emalani, there's something subtle and special about her. And I wondered if I did have lunch with her, I swear there's a certain swag that she'll just present to me. I just spiritually am very much connected to her. In fact, my car is named after Emalani. Anyway, I just feel like she was a driving force in our Lahui. And so Devin Camelo Forrest agreed with me, and we co-composed this mele as much as we co-compose a lot of mele together.
That's the reason why it was one of my favorite. Well, I kind of lean towards this being my favorite is because Emalani. I view Emalani as a fashionista for our Hawaiian people. And when I did a competition, it was Rose Invitational when it was still around, and we won the Kahiko segment. It was because, and I always will remember this. It's because how we were dressed, and my fact sheet said she was a fashionista for our people, and that is why we're dressed flashy. And you know who loved it? Auntie Ivalani Seu.
Yeah, we
She was the
love it.
costume judge.
She's the queen of fashion.
Yes, Miss Flashy herself.
And we know that Allan says there's a lot of hula done because he knows this as a hoʻopaʻa. There's a lot of hula done to honor Emalani in kahiko, in mele. And I gravitate to her energy and I'm very fascinated with this queen. I love Queen Lilia Kamakaʻeha, Lili o Kalani. I love Queen Kapiʻolani, but there's something special about Emalani that brings fire within to write about. And Devin Kamealoha was like, yes, brother, I have a mele, let's do it. So she's part of the Queenie essence.
Yeah, love it. All
I hope
right.
you teach this mele.
That's definitely the first one that's good. Well, I did Queenie already, but
Yeah.
Mauna Kilohana is the next one. Definitely.
Thank you, Komo. Yes.
All right. We're almost there. This one is I enjoy it because in Japan I'm forced to teach Tahitian now because my cousin and them are too busy. You know, I come from a Polynesian dance family, so it's in my blood. And so this one we'll probably end up doing a rendition to it, but this is his Tiare Maohi medley.
Aremiti o pape donatino ya orina na te upe o te po tihani no amai dona no anoa Wahine Paʻateni Tihani te
Tiare Maohi medley. Now, tell me the story as to why you wanted a mele kahiki on there.
You know, of course, our kupuna, half of the ships come from Tahiti, right? We know our connection to Tahiti and our ancestors. But you know what? I learned this mele, and there's two of those mele, Aremiti Opape and Tiare Maohi. And I wanted to honor my kumu, Arai Paheo, who lives in Fukuoka now. He was the founder and kumuhula of Hey Tiare. I was a singer. He taught me how to do. He was my first, one of my very few vocal coaches, and he taught me how to sing in Tahitian placement because Tahitians sing different from Samoans. Sings different from Hawaiians, right? On terms of placement, and I wanted to learn how to sing mele from whether it's mele aparima, ahuporotu, and I was a little jealous that people are doing like Tahitian music and Ori Tahiti is like booming in Japan, and I see other artists doing mele. I was like, hello. I want first place in Hetiare and Hilo for Hilo Tahiti. Like I deserve to honor my kumu. So I told my kumu arai, oh my gosh, you've inspired me to write this, like not write, but do this old classic number in our version, because there's different versions of it, but this is the way he taught me with Hetiare. And he goes, oh yeah, I never liked your voice when you was in 8th grade, but now I do. I'm very proud of you. Very him to say that to me, but he's proud of me because I was like, oh, you never liked my voice. Okay, now you like me. Okay, but he loves me, and that's Tahitians. You know, they're straightforward. They lots of love. Maurururoa kumarai for inspiring me to write this mele about Wahine. It talks about the beautiful women of Tahiti, of Kahiki, and so I love this aparima. It's my first aparima of many aparima I've learned, and I needed something different on my album because I'm so used to doing a Motown hit on my album, something English, but I wanted a mele Tahiti for the first time to honor the people of our distant cousins of Kahiki.
There's no R&B covers on this album.
I know.
There's none. It is really like a Hawaiian album with one the exception, right, of one Tahitian song.
And that's perfectly fine because it all sounds fabulous.
Thank you.
I was like,
wrap
a song.
with
Because I love a song.
And that's when we get to the last song.
which is the classic, and which I think really tied it up from top to bottom, and that is Koke'e. So let's take a listen to that. a little of it.
Upua e mana avec ni o Kokeʻe I kanani o ka ʻaina o no o ai ai.
And that is Kokeʻe. It is a very classic hula number, a classic mele, which ties up your whole album. What was the decision? Why did you choose Kokeʻe?
I love the Maile Li'i and Mokihana of Kauai. I'm always enthralled with the beauty of our eldest island, Mano Kalani. I love Koke'e. I love Hanalei. I love Haina. I think we all love Kauai. Kauai plays a special part in my heart. And I love Uncle Dennis Kamakahi and his legacy of music. Whether he co-composed Enakini or this mele, I just love his take on contemporary soul music. But what makes it different in this is that I added drums or percussion, which some other albums that some other engineers can't put drums. Oh, well, I'm not going to talk about other engineers. My engineer is just talented, and I said put drums and put percussion and talk about how we would never say goodbye to the beauty of Koke'e. And I wanted a powerful fortissimo note at the end to tell everyone that we would never say goodbye, that aloha remains in the hearts of our people. And that when you come to Hawaii, Hawaii is not only Hawaii, but you come to embrace our people, heritage, culture, and aloha, that Hawaii is the piko, the heart of the world, and we are the caretakers of the Pacific Ocean. We are the heart and the pu'uwai of the world. And so I wanted to honor everyone who loves Koke'e. Koke'e is such a very, very special wahipana. And it's a pu'uhonua too, a safe space for many. A lot of fans wrote to me, especially a wonderful entertainer wrote to me how he loved taking his wife to Koke'e where he proposed to her up there. So it's people have memories of where they go with this mele or how I take them on this journey, and it brings back memories to them in so many aspects. So I did it my style, and everyone has different ways of acknowledging someone else's composition, but I didn't change words. I didn't disrespect Uncle Dennis. I just
did it in your
I
style.
did it in Kalani Peʻa swag.
Yes. Okay, well, that was Kuini. We got to listen to a piece of 11 tracks. My last question for you in regards to the album, in comparing to your previous albums, how was it putting it all together?
You know, the fluidity, I just feel like if I have to talk about a mo'olelo, a story, and follow the theme or the po'aiapili, in Hawaiian we call it po'aiapili, the topic or theme, and give that abstract for our audience, I just feel like, you know, kumuleato, it just comes out from the na'au and the spirit. And then the story is told. Once you start something, you must complete it. And so every album has a special take, whether it's Evalea, Dave. We were just reminiscing about our 10 years coming up in like a few years. 10-year anniversary of Evalea comes up. Evalea is our first album. There's a special place of each album in our pu'uwai. And, you know, No'ane'i also takes us to a special place called Peʻa, Going on a Voyage, my Purple Hawaiian Christmas album. But this album is talking about wahine who create men, powerful women of yesterday and today and tomorrow. And so I know you have your Queenie. And in this album, I also want to dedicate to your mama, who plays such an imperative role in your life, as she is your musician and your, you know, your advisor, mentor. Your parents is part of you
It's
and
your Queenie.
your Queenie, you know, and you are your queen yourself.
Mahalo.
Allah. Hello, you have hundreds of students from the Moana Paki people, ko Hawaii pai aina ai ka aina e kinya ai ko kako wahi iki ia kana poʻokala o Japana. Kumu leato savini, you are a Queenie yourself. So this journey doesn't end here. The story has just begun.
Mahalo nui. Any updates you want to share with your lovely fans? Concerts coming up. I know you've been talking about some of your Christmas stuff coming up. Is that your next, besides
Yeah.
Ho'olauʻi, right?
August 25th, I have an event with Halau na Mamo Puʻuana Hulu Ho'olauʻi Kanaka. And then in September, I'm in Colorado at my alma mater, Colorado Mesa University. I'm the first performer at the brand new Performing Arts Center. And then they named a studio after me on campus in the music department. I told them, I'm not dead yet. Why are you naming places after me? Oh my God. An October Kona concert, November Kona concert, and
November Maui too.
Yep. And then Christmas concerts, Seattle, LA, Portland, and then Hawaii Theater
Hilo.
and Hilo Palace. So all for pre-orders of physical albums, go to kalanipeʻamusic.com for information about my upcoming shows, kalanipeʻamusic.com, or at social media at kalanipeʻamusic.
You guys heard it from him himself. All of the information is on kalanipeʻamusic.com. It was really great to talk with Kalani and Allan. I love you guys so much. And I only wish you guys the best. And I hope that I can run into you guys in person when our schedules allow.
And there's only one Tulipa, and you're the very one we love.
Thank you. I love you guys. Please stay safe, stay healthy. Until next time. Meka pau lele pale na ole. Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha.